Hello everybody, and welcome to the next walkthrough. And as you will be realising, we're returning to Lara Croft in Tomb Raider Anniversary. Which is really cool because it's a remake of the original Tomb Raider from 1996. And also, funnily enough, this recording right here, this is the first time that I've ever played the game, so look forward to that. But to open up, we get this really awesome CGI cutscene, which just shows how badass Lara is. I have to say, the in-game bit of the trailer is less exhilarating than the CGI stuff, but we can get past that, it'll be fine. But yes, this is Tomb Raider Anniversary. Now, you wouldn't see that particular thing immediately upon starting up the game. That turns up after sitting on the menu screen for a while. To get this particular cutscene right here is what you see initially upon turning on the game. I just felt that that bit was a bit better suited there, rather than after this cutscene. Oh, don't you just love it when there are atom bombs going off everywhere? Now, that cutscene is ever so slightly different in the original game. There's a lot more contraption-y stuff going on, but it's still quite cool. So, basically, you're going to want to make sure that manual grab is off, otherwise this game is going to be a bit of a pain to control. But we begin our story in Calcutta, India in 1996, which is funnily enough when the original game came out.
Now what's a man gotta do to get that sort of attention from you?
I don't know.
If that's the sort of attention
Larson?
you want, Larson, you're well on your way.
Sounds like fun, but I'm only here to make an introduction. Lara Croft, meet Jacqueline Natla of Natla Technologies.
Good afternoon, Miss Croft. My research department has recently turned its focus to the study of ancient artifacts, and I'm led to believe that with the right incentive, you're just the woman to find them for me.
I'm afraid you've been misled. I only play for sport.
Which is precisely why I've come to you, Miss Croft. This is a game you've played before, with your father. You both spent years searching for the Scions of Atlantis. All you needed was the location of Qualopec's tomb.
You found Vilcabamba.
How quickly can you get to Peru?
So, yeah. It's really cool that they did do this remake, because the original Tomb Raider hasn't aged particularly well. Though I will say that the actual CGI cutscenes that they did were really well done for their time. Really impressive. And also, there is the really cool thing of pretty much most of the cutscenes in this game have been lovingly replicated from the original game, although there are a lot more cutscenes than there were in the original. It's basically a reworked, retooled, upgraded version of the original Tomb Raider. So it's developed by Crystal Dynamics with help from BuzzMonkey Software. Published by Eidos Interactive. Designer is Toby Gard. Written by Toby Gard and Matt 'The music is composed by Trolls Brun Folman. and it came out on the 1st of June 2007 on the PS2 in Europe, and then basically Tomb Raider Anniversary did what Tomb Raider Legend did and came out on like every single console ever. Although it didn't come out on the PS3 until 2011, funnily enough. Also, this introductory bit of kind of the teaching you how to control the game, this actually wasn't in the original, I don't think. It pretty much just started with a cutscene, which has been split into two things here. So, the original Tomb Raider came out in 1996, 25th of October in Europe, and then over the course of the next few years, next few months in America and Japan. And it has very recently been re-released on Steam and also on iOS, so you can get the original Tomb Raider on your mobile phone if you want to, and it's been tidied up a little bit, although not to this extent. It was developed by Core Design, published by Eidos, produced by Mike Schmidt, I believe, designed by Toby Gard, programmed by Paul Douglas, written by Vicky Arnold, and music was composed by Nathan McCree. And this particular cutscene is relatively famous because it's the first introduction of Lara Croft to the world, really. Oh, poor guy. Why did he have to die? Damn it, guys, really? You had to kill someone in like the first 10 minutes? Ugh. Well, I was saying that if you kind of had come from Tomb Raider Legend, in that game Lara killed a lot of people, whereas here Lara doesn't kill anybody, really. I believe there was a distinct desire to stay away from killing people because it was very popular at the time in video games, and they wanted to move away from that. So instead of killing people, you kill animals. Unfortunately, most of the animals that you're going to be killing are kind of endangered. So they kind of went from one extreme to the other. So here we have Keely Hawes returning to her role as Lara from Tomb Raider Legend, and she really is still my favourite Lara out there. Just does the voice so well, and manages to portray a nice wide array of emotions while still managing to sound badass at the same time, which is a very difficult thing to pull off. And also, here we have our very first artifacts. Basically unlocks bonus content and extra features. They are hidden throughout the game, and they are certainly more difficult to find than they were in Tomb Raider Legend, because in Tomb Raider Legend they were bloody huge, whereas here they are quite small, and it's a trend that you're going to see followed to the extreme come Tomb Raider Underworld. Now, another thing that's different in Anniversary is that you have medipacks, but not just that, you have an inventory. So you can store medipacks, there's large variety, small variety, multiple weapons again, but then you're also going to find things like cogs and stuff about that you're going to need to make use of. Also, the grapple mechanic has changed in that instead of doing a double A to get it, it's now jump, press X, and then you're in. So it's slightly more terrifying whenever you do it. But there we go. The rest of the core mechanics haven't changed since Tomb Raider Legend. Although I will say that there are elements of the gameplay which don't feel quite as smooth as they could do. There are a reasonable amount of bugs in Tomb Raider Anniversary, and I'm going to attempt to avoid them as much as possible. Also, when because basically, I only managed to get the game was, just after Christmas, just gone as of the release of this playthrough, walkthrough, thingamajiggy. And it was only by luck that I managed to find it, because I specifically wanted the Xbox 360 version, because obviously it is going to be the best looking console version that I can get my hands on. Unfortunately, but I'd rather not play the Wii version, because I don't have quite the same manner of being able to record it. Well, ease of recording, because I don't carry my Wii everywhere with me. Well, I don't carry my Xbox 360 everywhere with me, but you get the point. So, this is a pre-owned copy of the game, because it's very difficult to find these things anymore. And I was very worried about doing this game kind of basically live. I mean, obviously, commentary's not live at all. But this is completely blind, but with a guide to help so that I get all of my artifacts, because I'm not going to miss out on that stuff, you know? I mean, like, I need to do walkthroughs for my Tomb Raider games. This is how it works. So, because the disc that I've got to Tomb Raider Anniversary is somewhat scratched, really. It's very depressing. I kind of wish that the previous owner had treated it a little bit more carefully and respectfully, but it's not always going to happen. So I was terrified that the game was going to kind of completely crap out on me. Thankfully, as of current things, because, well, as of this commentary recording, I haven't finished recording the game. However, I'm near the end. But it hasn't crapped out on me yet, thankfully. There is also the issue of, there will be moments when I'm just standing around being like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But don't you worry, I'm cutting out most of that waffle where I can, just to make this as smooth a run of Tomb Raider Anniversary as possible, because you need to see this stuff. Don't need to see me standing around, though. Now, one thing that I really, really, really do like about Tomb Raider Anniversary is that your medipacks are you can hold basically an unlimited amount of them. Whereas in the previous one, in Tomb Raider Legend, you could only have, I think it was 3 medipacks in total, and that was it. No more at all. And that was depressing. Whereas here, you can have everything that you find, and it's brilliant. And also it goes over into each mission, so if you're kind of careful, look after your health, / make sure that you don't waste medipacks, then you're going to have about nearly 30 odd of the small medipacks towards the end of the game. Definitely more, because I know that I am going to be using medipacks. That can't get away from that, unfortunately. I'm not that good at Tomb Raider. You may have been able to guess, but still. Now, another thing that I will note about Tomb Raider Anniversary is something that slightly annoys me. It's more of just a taste thing. So, in Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider Underworld, I'm fairly certain that there is a lot more music throughout. And it's good because I enjoy that and I get to listen to it and it makes me excited to be raiding tombs. Whereas here, it's just not there. The music is very rarely comes in, and when it does, it's cool and really tense, particularly kind of whenever the battle music comes in. But there's a lot of just Lara running about, and all you can hear is the sound of her footsteps and her yells, which is kind of just like, oh, I feel rather alone. I mean, it works for the atmosphere brilliantly, but I don't know. I think I would prefer to have just a bit more involvement in everything that's going on, really. I like to feel exhilarating. Well, I like to feel like things are kind of happening and feel pumped up to do stuff. And sometimes Tomb Raider Anniversary just kind of lets the ball drop a little bit. It's not much, mind. It's just whenever there are long periods of time where there's no music going on. It's just like, So, pole jumping's back, and that hasn't changed at all. Pretty much the majority of the game mechanics have not changed from Tomb Raider Legend. It's literally just the grapple. And then you've now got a new form of grapple swing. It's like a wall run, which is quite cool. And you don't have a flashlight in this game anymore. You do, however, have one in the Wii version. The Wii version's got a lot of different things in it, and is actually probably the slightly fuller game in terms of things to collect, because there's rubbing patterns that you can get, and there's all sorts of new little areas as well.
There must be a way to open this door.
Yes, Lara. It's very helpful. If ever you get stuck, go to Lara's journal if you desperately want some advice, but if I'm honest, just follow this / look it up on the internet. It's probably a slightly better option. Also, don't you just love wolves just being there, trying to kill you? Also, for an opening chapter, this is reasonably long, because basically how this game works very differently to Legend in its layout, is that whereas in Tomb Raider Legend you went into a level and that was one location, you went through the entire thing and that was the level. Tomb Raider Anniversary has big levels that within them have 3 or 4 levels. So we're in Peru at the minute, and that's got 4 levels to it. At the end of each level you'll get to save and then progress further. And this continues into Tomb Raider Underworld. Also, this door thing is timed, so you're going to want to grab it. And you may have just been able to see up there a little thing just sitting there. and you are going to want to collect that if you want to get everything in the game. And in fact, that's what we're going to head to do right now that we've opened the door. Because, if I recall correctly, the end of this level thing, so the first level of 4 in this level, it made more sense in my head, is basically just through that door. So we want to get our first relic, which is what's hidden all the way up there. Also, something that's really cool and very, very helpful is that checkpoints work twice. So if you run past a checkpoint more than once, it will react as a checkpoint. Which is so useful for when you're returning from locations and failing. Also, I'm quite glad that the wolves are now dead, because it means that our job is a lot easier. Although not much easier if you don't know what you're doing. Because basically what you need to do right there is, instead of waiting for the pole to go all the way across, you need to jump immediately, because you need to get onto that ledge which you can see just in front of us. It's slightly annoying because the camera doesn't help, and the camera in this game is not brilliant. It certainly could have done with a little bit more work, but then 3D platformers / 3D platform puzzle games have never really had the most wonderful cameras in the entire world. I should also point out that Lara isn't going to change costumes throughout the entire game, so this is all you're going to see of Lara's costume, even though there are a lot of optional costumes that you can put on after you have completed missions. So here we have a killer whale bottle from approximately AD 700, which is just quite cool. There's a couple of little facts like that, and it's just really nice. I like it when you get things like that. Which is what I really, really liked in the Tomb Raider reboot, is that you had lots of kind of information and background things within the narrative, and you just got that continuation. So you had the narrative pulling you along, which was always fun, and then there was background stuff, which was also interesting. But, there we go, that's the end of the mountain caves. So, we need to continue into Peru, so let's do that. Woo!